if you're somebody who's considering rolling out your social media campaign or your social media strategy for 2021, I want you to take the word considering out of your vocabulary and make sure it's a mandatory part of your business. Unless you're like retiring in 2 years and selling your book of business or something like that, which, by the way, I'll just throw this out there. If you're selling your book of business, feel free to call me on that. But you know, if you're going to be out in 2 years, sure. If this isn't a long-term play for you, but I think most people joining this call right now are in it for the long term. Want to build a business that pays them year over year and build that annuity. And the only way, in my eyes, to do that today, to compete with Zillow and the programs that they're rolling out and the aggressive approach and disruption that they have on this industry right now, amongst others, right? Not just Zillow. You can look at what CoStar just did buying HomeSnap. The only way we're going to compete with the disruptors of our business. Remember, guys, 3 out of 4 consumers are jumping on Zillow. They're not jumping on Ravis.com. They're not jumping on any of these other sites. They're jumping on Zillow first. So how are we going to compete with that? We're going to compete with that by having the biggest brand in our local markets. Obviously, we're all partnered with William Ravis for a reason, because we have the biggest brand in our state. And it makes it easy for us now to enhance our individual brands. And you're going to do that through consistent content, putting content out there every single day. Branding is not buying space on any of these national disruptor platforms, right? That's a transactional approach. That's buying leads, it's buying transactions for the short term. Building our brand starts with producing content on a daily basis on the platforms that people are actually spending time on. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, right? Now TikTok emerging with the younger crowd, certainly LinkedIn. All of these platforms we need to be telling our story on a daily basis. And the easiest way I found to do this I always say this, the only thing I got right so far in my real estate career is figuring out a pillar piece of content, starting with one, not trying to, guess every single day what I'm going to do. I've stayed away from canned content. I'd encourage all of you guys to do that. Number one, stay away from canned content, because you're just going to look like everybody else. You're going to be super vanilla, and quite frankly, nobody's going to pay attention to you. So create your piece of pillar content so you don't have to guess. What does that mean? And I don't know, the background noise, maybe somebody needs to mute there, but the pillar piece of content would be creating a show, in my opinion, or a podcast, or a 5-minute Q&A show. That's probably the best way to go to start, is creating a question and answer. I think Lisa Sweeney maybe is unmuted, needs to mute herself. A question and answer show that you put out there every Tuesday, every single Wednesday of every single week. It could literally be a 5-minute video show, a 5-minute podcast, whatever you want to call it. Where are you going to get the questions, right? That's always one of the things I hear. Just go into your inbox here. We're sitting in December of 2020. Go into your inbox, go into your Outlook, and look at all the questions you've gotten from consumers over the last 12 months. All the questions buyers and sellers have asked you over the last 12 months. And create 50 questions. Create 150, maybe do a 3-segment show every single week. And then roll out your Q&A show of the week. If you do 3 segments, which I would suggest, you only need 150 questions. I guarantee every single buddy on this Zoom call has 150 questions living in their email, in their inbox, right? So take those 150 questions, create the 50 shows for the year 2021, 3 segments, roll it out the same day of the week, Tuesday or whatever. It is Lisa Sweeney. She's got a mute there. I don't know if you guys can find her and mute her, or she can mute herself. Right? And so that one day every single week, you're going to put out your show. Now you've got the 3 questions that you can clip out as bite-sized pieces on Instagram, on Facebook, right? Even create another 3 videos on YouTube. So there's 3 more days of content from the one show that you already did that week. You can now take a really nice line from that show, a quote, and create 3 quote cards. There's 3 more pieces of content for the week. You can, from those 3 topics, you can write 3 blogs, 3 pieces of written content. Some people want to hear your message audio. Some people still like to read, believe it or not. Lots of people still like to read. I still like to read. I'm sure many people here like to read. And some people want to see the video, right? Obviously, video is like the cost of doing business, the cost of building a brand today. You're going to get more, if it's an Instagram world, you're certainly going to get more push on their algorithm today on video than you will on photos. That used to be the reverse, so paying attention to the trends. But that one show that you sit down and just take the questions from your inbox, you do it once a week, you put it in your calendar in perpetuity, right? So Tuesday at 10 a.m., I'm going to film this show every single week. I'm going to release it on Wednesday. I'm going to spread out the clips from Thursday through Tuesday the following week. That one show takes you 20 minutes. Now you got to have somebody clipping out, writing the blog, all that kind of stuff, or do it yourself, which is what I did in the beginning. Either way, is going to give you all the content you need for the week. And it's going to be relevant questions to your marketplace. It's going to be, as a seller, should I be at my home inspection? Boom, there's a question. It's living in your inbox right now, guys. All these stupid, silly questions we think are stupid, silly because we know our business so good, they're living in your inbox, but they're things that people actually care about. They're questions that the consumers are paying attention to, that they're asking, and that they need to be educated on. How many people have we talked to this year that don't even realize if they're living over a 4% interest rate, need to refinance right now, like as in yesterday, right? That's a great question to start educating our consumers. So that's my overall thesis. I'd encourage everybody to, whatever your style is, video, podcast, whatever it is, create a weekly show. Q&A is the easiest way to start and get all your bite-sized pieces of content for the week. You can get up to 15 plus pieces of content just with the formula I just went through. For every single week, and then you don't have to think about it. Your whole entire campaign, your whole entire strategy for the week or for the year is figured out, and then you can go on next once you get comfortable with that and build a second piece of pillar content, which you'll create another 15 plus pieces of bite-sized content. So that's my 2 cents. I appreciate you guys listening, and I'll hand it off to whoever's next.